chị là Yến và chị sẽ host buổi talk show ngày hôm nay. Thì cùng với chị sẽ có anh Long là quản lý của team marketing, và anh sẽ mute hoặc là unmute các bạn trong quá trình mà diễn talk show diễn ra. Ừ. Ừ. Theo như đăng ký của chị thì chúng ta sẽ có khoảng 40 người sẽ tham gia cái buổi talk show ngày hôm nay, bao gồm có các bạn học sinh, các bạn sinh viên và phụ huynh học sinh. Thế nên là các bạn chú ý giúp chị là nếu như các bạn muốn nói chuyện với, tức là muốn đặt câu hỏi trong quá trình này, thì các bạn có thể chat vào khung chat, hoặc các bạn có thể unmute để các bạn đặt câu hỏi trực tiếp với lại các thầy. Và ngày hôm nay thì các thầy cô cũng sẽ cố gắng nói chậm nhất có thể để mọi người có thể nghe được. Nhưng mà chị nghĩ là phần này chúng ta sẽ phải nghe rất là kỹ, vì các thầy cô sẽ nói bằng giọng anh cũng như là giọng nó hơi khác một xíu, nên nếu như mà các bạn cần chị hỏi lại, hoặc là các bạn muốn nghe lại cái đoạn talk của các thầy cô, thì có thể nốt lại ở trên khung chat để các thầy cô có thể repeat lại. Thực sự là nó sẽ không dễ nghe như là BBC hay là CNN mà các bạn hay nghe đâu nha. Okay, so it's 8 p.m. already here in Vietnam, and I believe that is it's 3 p.m. No, 2 p.m. in the UK, right? And we are so glad that you are here with us today to talk about the very special topic. This is about which program that we will study in the UK so that we can have a better career prospect when we graduate. And I would like to say that in the current situation of our world, and we have lots of rapid development in terms of technology and other things. So choosing the like subject to study is become more and more challenge for youngsters, including students from high school or even parents who uh, here in Vietnam, parents orient their children to choose which subject so that they can get the good future opportunity. But I think it is important that we are here today to have a little talk about two main topics, which is about AI, which is very trendy topics now, and logistics. That for a country like Vietnam, we are very interested in how it can develop in the future. So, uh, um, okay, let me go through some points that we will discuss today. The first one is about these two topics, including AI and logistic management program. The second one is about the education and teaching quality in the UK, especially in the University of Portsmouth. And the third one is directly to be, advised by two doctors today about these two industries. And the last one, we will have a few minutes for students and parents to ask you too about how they can build their profile to get the better job in the future. And okay, so now I would like to introduce to our students the very special doctors that join with us today. That is Dr. Graham Wall. Is from the course Master in Logistics and Supply Chain Management. And also, I would like to welcome Dr. Janka Chlebikova, if I pronounce right, the head of computer science and AI program. So I would like to introduce Dr. Graham Wall. May I have your few words to welcome today?
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so my name is, sorry.
Yeah, may I have a few words to introduce about yourself?
Okay, yeah, so my name is Dr. Graham Wall. So I'm been working at the University of Portsmouth for, I think, about the last 12, 13 years. And my main role is I am the course leader for the master's course that we have in logistics and supply chain management. So we have around 60 students, and we mainly international, so we have quite a diverse group. And so that keeps me very busy, and I'll be talking a bit more about that as we go through this webinar this afternoon.
Thank you so much for your short but very informative, introduction by yourself. And Dr. Janka, can I have your, few words introducing yourself?
Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. It's my pleasure to be here. Thanks for your introduction. So my name is Janka Chlebikova, and I work at the University of Portsmouth for almost 15 years. I work as a teacher, lecturer of computer science and mathematics. And in the last 5 years, I'm heavily involved in international program of the School of Computing. So I'm taking care about international students, and I work also as an associate head for partnerships, so creating partnerships around the world and about the globe, taking care about all the international activity on the department. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Janka. Okay, so we have few words from these two doctors from the University of Portsmouth. So to start with, let me introduce about IAE Global, the education service company that linked us together today. And also after that, I will have a short introduction about University of Portsmouth. And it will take like 5 minutes. And after that, we will have, we will go through the talk show. And starting from now, I will use Vietnamese so that, students can understand well. Okay. Rồi, các bạn có nhìn thấy màn hình của chị không nhỉ? Nếu mà các bạn có nhìn thấy, các bạn có thể gõ số 1 giúp chị nhé. Chị có một câu hỏi nữa, đấy là các thầy cô vừa mới say hello với mình ấy, thì mọi người có nghe được không? Và nếu như mà mọi người muốn các thầy cô nói chậm hơn ấy, thì có thể nhắn giúp chị trên khung chat. Ok, thank you Linh Phương. Vậy là mọi người đã nhìn thấy màn hình chia sẻ của chị rồi đúng không? Rồi, chị giới thiệu qua một xíu. IA Global ở Việt Nam thì đã có lịch sử từ năm 2018, nhưng trên thế giới thì IA Global đã start từ năm 1992. Và với một cái lịch sử lâu đời như thế này ý, thì các cái văn phòng của IA Global được mở ra trên 16 quốc gia với số lượng nhân viên hỗ trợ cho các bạn học sinh lên đến 700 tư vấn. Thì các bạn học sinh sẽ đến từ nhiều quốc gia khác nhau, cũng như là các bạn thì cũng có nhu cầu đi học ở các cái thành phố ví dụ như Toronto hay London, hoặc là Toronto, London hoặc Sydney. Và tại những thành phố này thì IA Global sẽ có văn phòng riêng để có thể hỗ trợ các bạn sau khi các bạn tốt nghiệp hoặc các bạn muốn tìm cơ hội làm thêm. Thì đối với lại IA Global thì chúng tôi sẽ giúp các bạn những cái dịch vụ như sau. Ngoài việc các bạn có thể nộp hồ sơ vào các cái trường mà các bạn mơ ước, thì trước khi các bạn nộp hồ sơ, các bạn sẽ cần phải chuẩn bị rất là nhiều thủ tục, bao gồm có thi thử IELTS, bao gồm có sửa bài luận hay là CV, rồi luyện phỏng vấn vân vân. Thì tất cả những service này IAE có thể support cho các bạn mà không hề gọi là IAE sẽ hỗ trợ miễn phí từ A đến Z. Riêng đối với phần visa thì IAE sẽ có một hệ thống các cái anh chị có kinh nghiệm cũng như là có license trong cái việc tư vấn hồ sơ visa để hỗ trợ các bạn kể cả ở Việt Nam lẫn các quốc gia khác, ví dụ như Anh Quốc hoặc là Úc. Thì visa nó sẽ hơi khó, cho nên là chúng ta sẽ cần phải làm việc với nhau nhiều hơn. Nên là nếu như các bạn muốn IAE có thể support được thì có thể follow fanpage của IAE nhé. Đấy là ngắn gọn về IAE là ai và chúng tôi làm gì ở Việt Nam. Tiếp theo chị sẽ giới thiệu về Đại học Portsmouth. Thì thông thường tại Anh Quốc, các trường đại học đầu tiên và là các trường đại học tốt nhất của thành phố sẽ được đặt tên là University of của thành phố nào đấy. Bởi vì đây là gọi như là niềm tự hào cũng như là cái trường đại học tốt nhất của thành phố đó. Thì Portsmouth cách London vào khoảng 1 tiếng rưỡi đi tàu. Thì ở Anh các bạn xem Harry Potter, các bạn sẽ thấy là các bạn ấy đi tàu rất là nhiều, và cái thời gian mà đo bằng đi tàu gần như là cái thời gian gọi là tiêu chuẩn cho các bạn du học sinh. Thì Đại học Portsmouth là ngôi sao sáng của thành phố Portsmouth, và theo như cái bảng xếp hạng ở đây thì các bạn có thể thấy là nó thuộc đại học top 5 trường đại học trẻ tại UK theo bảng xếp hạng The Higher Education. Theo bảng xếp hạng QS Ranking thì trường cũng được xếp hạng 5 sao vào bảng xếp hạng năm 2024. Và ở Anh Quốc thì sẽ có riêng một bảng xếp hạng là chất lượng giáo dục, thì mọi người có thể nhìn thấy là trường được xếp hạng vàng, tức là trong top những cái trường hàng đầu về chất lượng giáo dục cũng như là chất lượng của giảng viên giảng dạy trong trường. 94% số lượng học sinh tốt nghiệp từ trường đại học Portsmouth có gọi là có việc làm cũng như là học lên bậc học cao hơn sau khi mà các bạn tốt nghiệp tại đây. Có một cái mà chị thấy khá là thú vị, đấy là trường có hơn 5.000 sinh viên quốc tế đến từ 150 quốc gia. Đây chính là một môi trường mà các em sẽ có thể tiếp xúc với lại rất nhiều văn hóa khác nhau, cũng như là sẽ có rất nhiều bạn bè trên thế giới. Khi mà quay về Việt Nam thì các em cũng sẽ có một cái lượng networking nhất định để sau này các em có mở kinh doanh hay là các em có muốn đi đây đi kia thì các em cũng sẽ có những cái số lượng bạn bè nhất định để mình liên hệ. Ngoài ra thì có rất nhiều bảng xếp hạng khác mà chị không thể liệt kê hết ở đây, mà chúng ta sẽ cần tức là mỗi năm sẽ có những cái bảng xếp hạng khác nhau, thì chúng ta có thể nhìn sơ qua coi như là tham khảo. Có một cái mà chị muốn nhấn mạnh, ranking là như vậy rồi, nhưng mà trường sẽ support sinh viên như thế nào? Nó sẽ khác với các cái trường top ranking khác, đấy là yêu cầu đầu vào cao, học rất là vất vả vì các bạn sẽ phải cố gắng để được cái thành tích tốt. Nhưng mà ở trường đại học Portsmouth thì chúng ta sẽ có rất nhiều các cái mảng hỗ trợ, từ cái việc là personal tutor, tức là các bạn sẽ có một tutor riêng. Chị sẽ không dịch cái nghĩa của tutor, nhưng mà bạn sẽ hiểu đấy là một cái người sẽ hỗ trợ riêng cho mình cả về mặt học thuật, tư vấn về học thuật cũng như trả lời tất cả các câu hỏi liên quan đến học thuật, và có thể bám sát mình trong cái quá trình mình học ở bên kia. Ví dụ như là cái điểm của mình ở môn này nó chưa được cao á, thì mình có thể tìm cái người tutor đấy để người ta giảng lại cho mình hoặc người ta giải thích cho mình hiểu để cái bài thi của mình cái điểm nó tốt hơn. Thứ hai nữa là về cái academic, các cái skills cho học thuật, tức là ở nước ngoài cái hệ thống tính điểm cũng như là cái cách học nó sẽ hoàn toàn khác ở Việt Nam, và em không thể nào áp dụng cái mà em đang dùng ở Việt Nam cho các cái chương trình ở nước ngoài được. Và như vậy thì cái đơn vị, cái bộ phận Academic Skills Unit này, người ta sẽ giúp em trong cái việc làm quen dần với yêu cầu, ví dụ yêu cầu bài làm, yêu cầu research, rồi vân vân ở bên kia. Có một cái này nữa, đấy là em sẽ nhìn thấy trên này chúng ta có Math Cafe. Tại sao nó lại liên quan đến math ở đây? Thì theo như kinh nghiệm mà chị hướng dẫn rất là nhiều bộ hồ sơ mà các bạn đi học cũng như là xin học bổng, thì các kỹ năng liên quan đến toán đóng vai trò vô cùng quan trọng, bởi vì là Nó là những kỹ năng cơ bản để em có thể thực hiện cũng như theo học rất là nhiều bộ môn, trong đó các cái bộ môn như của ngày hôm nay, ví dụ như là về AI, về computer science, hoặc là về logistics, về supply chain management, tất cả đều cần đến toán. Và ở cái Math Cafe này thì ví dụ như em đi học mà em cần ai đó để hỗ trợ thì chỗ này sẽ là chỗ em sẽ tìm đến người hỗ trợ trong cái mảng đó. Ờ, Ở đây thì mọi người sẽ nhìn giúp chị cái phần cuối cùng là health and well-being. Khi hướng dẫn cho sinh viên đi du học ấy, thì chị thấy là khi các em ở bên kia chỉ có một mình hoặc là trong một cái nhóm chơi rất là nhỏ, các bạn học sinh Việt Nam ấy, thường là chúng ta sẽ không được vui như ở nhà đâu. Và các bạn sẽ hay có những cái lúc mà chúng ta bị tụt về mặt cảm xúc, hay là các bạn sẽ gặp khó khăn này kia, thì ở trường sẽ luôn luôn có một văn phòng gọi là well-being service. Người ta sẽ hỗ trợ mình kể cả về mặt tinh thần lẫn tình cảm. Đó, thì ở đây em có thể tìm đến để em tâm sự, hoặc là em tìm kiếm cái lời khuyên từ các thầy cô để em có thể xử lý được các cái vấn đề mà ai cũng sẽ phải trải qua khi du học. Rồi, nói về hỗ trợ như vậy, còn nói về hướng dẫn nghề nghiệp cho các bạn thì sao? Career ready thì sao? Sẽ có hai thứ mà chị muốn các bạn nhớ ở đây, đấy là cái work related learning, tức là các bạn sẽ được thực hành trong lúc các bạn học. Cái này thì sẽ áp dụng cho cả chương trình thạc sĩ lẫn chương trình cử nhân. Và cái này, cái free career support này nó sẽ kéo dài lên đến 5 năm, tức là sau khi em tốt nghiệp rồi, 5 năm sau em quay lại và em nhờ nhà trường hỗ trợ các cái dịch vụ này, nhà trường vẫn có thể hỗ trợ em. Và thứ hai các bạn cần cần ghi nhớ đấy là cái placement. Thì mọi người có thể nhìn thấy ở đây có rất nhiều tên các cái doanh nghiệp nổi tiếng, IBM, Walt Disney, rồi Airbus, rồi Microsoft. Thì những bạn nào mà làm việc hoặc là tốt nghiệp các cái, không phải tốt nghiệp mà là theo học các cái ngành mà liên quan và có cơ hội được thực tập tại đây á, thì nhà trường cũng sẽ hỗ trợ để các bạn có thể tham gia vào cái job fair, hoặc là có cái cơ hội để phỏng vấn, để gọi là có cơ hội làm việc tại các cái doanh nghiệp này. Đó, ngắn gọn thì là sẽ chỉ có những thông tin như vậy thôi. Các cái thông tin tiếp theo sau đây thì chị sẽ bắt đầu vào phần talk show nhé, để chúng ta có thể có được nhiều thông tin từ các thầy cô. Okay, I have just completed this short introduction about IA Global and the University of Portsmouth. I hope that I didn't miss anything, but if you have any interesting story that you know it happened with your student, you can share with us within today. Now, let's us come back with the topic. And the first question that we would like to have Dr. Wall, can you please explain for us about logistics and supply chain management? And the second question is why it is important for, in our daily life nowadays.
Okay, thank you very much. In order to answer that question, I will share my screen. And you already sharing? Is that right, Alex? I can't share my screen at the moment. I can request. I just send request. Okay, let's try again. Okay, there we go. Okay, so to answer that question, it's good to show you a diagram of a simple supply chain. And you can see that we've got raw materials, one end of the supply chain, and at the other end, we will have finished goods going to the customer. And the idea will be that a supply chain manager will have to manage this whole process of making a product right from the raw materials all the way through the manufacturing process, distribution, and all the way to the final customer. Now, it can be very different for different types of products. It can also be for a service as well. But what the manager has to do is manage this process in the most efficient, smooth, and seamless way possible. And there are some objectives The first is we want to try and minimize costs throughout. We may also want to minimize, for example, environmental impact or social impact as well. But cost is very important. But as well as that, we've got to make sure that we meet the requirements of the customer. That's very important because there's no point us producing a product that nobody wants. Now, logistics, often the two words can be interchanged, but logistics very much is like a subset of supply chain management or the supply chain. It particularly focuses on the storage of the goods and the transportation of the goods. So particularly from the manufacturing part all the way through to delivering the final product to the customer. And what's really important is that we get the right product to the right place at the right time. And there's many other things we need to do as well, but those are the basic things we need to do when it comes to supply chain and logistics. So why is it important in our daily lives? Well, we all go to the supermarket or to the chemist and expect to see the things that we want to buy, particularly the food items. I've shown here we've got a lot of perishable food items like fruit and vegetables. We've also got medicines. So again, these have a specific time window and these need to have regular deliveries to replenish stock, where people have bought and the stocks need to be put back up to the correct levels again. So we're all in a position where we expect this to happen, don't we? And if it doesn't happen, we are surprised. But actually, there's a lot of work goes into making sure this happens, and this happens on a regular basis. Just another couple of examples. When we receive parcels or letters, there's a whole logistics process there as well. In particularly, we think about worldwide trade, where products are sent across the world, how you organize the different types of transport, different modes of transport, how you deal with all the complexities as well with regard to that. In manufacturing factories, they're having to deal with this all the time in terms of the quantities of supplies or raw materials they need, and then how they deal with the distribution and management of sending the products out to their customers. So these are some examples. One other example I was thinking of as well is the whole area of humanitarian logistics. When we have a disaster, particularly after that happens, there is a real need to get food, medicines, and provisions to those who are in need and their lives are at risk. So again, another example, it's not a commercial logistics, but there's a sense where we need to save lives. So again, that's a very important aspect and requires a lot of planning to execute in an efficient way.
That's a very, lively example that we can, think about now, because there are lots of crises. I mean, natural disaster happen in a, Asian country, Southeast Asia country. So it's really needed. Yeah. So for example, if I were a student in University of Portsmouth in your program, and what skills and knowledge will the program at your university can equip students with?
Well, I hope as course leader I can answer that question. I wouldn't be doing my job if I couldn't, but let me just share again some slides just to make it clearer. So there are two aspects, as it were, to the course that we try and promote. The first is that we want students to have a really good knowledge of logistics and supply chain management, really understand it in depth, understand the strategic areas of logistics and supply chain management. So that's really foundational. But as part of that, we also want to help students develop skills, particularly in the whole area of decision making. And so we use methodologies Sometimes they're known as operational research or operations research. But what we're doing effectively is taking a problem. It may be scheduling of staff in a hospital. It may be routing of vehicles for deliveries. And what we want to do is put that into a mathematical format, an algebraic format. And then along with data, we then have this problem set out, and then we're looking for different solution methods to be able to find an optimal solution or solutions to that problem. So what we really want students to leave the course with is both a really good knowledge of logistics and supply chain management, but be equipped with the tools required in order to be able to make those better decisions. And the course that we have, the skills on the course, the topics on the course, the syllabus on the course, it's been accredited by what's known as the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. They're the professional body for logistics and transportation. And so effectively they have approved our course that it meets all of the required standards and content to equip these students to go on and work in the industry. And I've just highlighted, again, a few other issues about the course, some of the particularly, probably the most unique selling point of the course is really this quantitative emphasis on the decision making, because that's really, really important when you go into work. We also obviously look at other aspects as well. We're making sure that students are employable. So we try and bring in as much employability aspects as well embedded into the course. So students work in groups, they will write reports, they will do presentations, a number of other skills that are really important as well when they leave. We also, for selected students, have opportunities for them to do an industrial project. We're getting them to use industrial-based software as well. And in order to make sure that we keep up to speed with what we are teaching, we also bring in our research, so that informs our teaching as much as we can. And the employment opportunities are there, and I think we'll come on to that in a moment.
So you mentioned about the professional bodies. Professional bodies that, in the previous image. So, I mean, after they graduate, student graduate, what kind of job that student can get and how that professional bodies can, support for their application.
Okay, that's a very good question. Let me just also share one more slide here. So to answer your second part first, one of the advantages of the accreditation with the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport is that once you have passed the course, it accelerates your entry to become eventually a chartered status, which when you're going into logistics, a company, transportation company, logistics company, etc., that can have a very good impact in terms of your reputation and your career. So that's the first thing. We encourage students also to link in with this professional body, because even during their time as a student, they can network with professionals. There are different events that are open to them. They can access a lot of resources, understand and learn about current trends within the industry. So all of that's there. And then when they do finally graduate, hopefully that will give them a good platform to help them with the network they have and the skills they have to find, a really good job going forward. In terms of the job opportunities, I think logistics and supply chain management have been very much current in the news, haven't they? We think about Brexit, we think about COVID, even more recently with these tariffs. It's a big topic, isn't it, at the moment? And so we really need experts who can come in and really help in these areas. And I've just highlighted a few here on the screen. We've had a variety of students in a number of these areas, and I'll just highlight a few options. So particularly in IT, so supply chains are using many packages. One of them is called SAP, which is very famous. IT system, which helps all players in the supply chain to communicate. And so again, we need students who can be equipped and be able to go in and use IT systems and different forms of software, potentially even some programming as well. So those are the things that some of our students have gone into. Linked to that is the whole area of business and finance, which can link to marketing, can be more financial roles, but particularly things like procurement. So, for example, I was talking to one of our students who graduated 3 years ago, and he is now working for an engineering company near Portsmouth and is involved in the whole area of shipping goods, so import and export, having to deal with all the legal and bureaucratic paperwork required to bring products in or parts in and send particular products that are actually finished products to the various customers. So again, that's another big area as well. Linked to that, you've got the whole area of data analytics, where you want to have graduates who are numerate, who can look through data to see patterns, see trends, and really understand in depth what's going on in a variety of areas. Particularly one of them is the whole area of forecasting demand and how we match supply and demand. There's the whole area of logistics, freight forwarding as well, transportation, how we organize exports of goods using different modes of transport with all the different paperwork, navigating, particularly important now, tariffs and all of the other hurdles as well. Finally, we do have some students who've also stayed on with us and either done a PhD and or they've been involved in different aspects of research work in logistics. So again, using all of the skills that they've acquired with regards to data, but also with regards to decision-making skills, and being able to use that in their particular role. So there's a variety of options, a variety of possibilities here. And there is, and I think with a numerate background as well, you have got many possibilities going forward.
Thank you so much for your sharing and very informative information. And like here in Vietnam, we have a university named Foreign Trade University, and we're just focusing on trading. Trading means the traditional trading. And like I'm from that university, so the whole last 2 years I have to study many subjects about logistics and supply chain management. And to be honest, it is like student graduates from the university can do lots of can work in different industry because they have quite good background like this, as you mentioned. So thank you so much for your short but very useful information about logistics and supply chain management. And now we will move to another part with Dr. Janka, and we would like to talk about the very hot topic currently. This is about AI, I mean artificial intelligence. So can you please kindly share with us about this subject and how it is about the application of this program?
Okay, thank you very much for introduction. I prepare a little bit short slide, if you don't mind, share them with you. Okay, I hope that you can see them. Because talking about the practical application of I could talk about a whole day probably, because I think everybody is already aware of some application which affect the life. But I would like to starting with kind of summarizing of artificial intelligence, which is compared to the new electricity. This comparison was done by Professor Andrew Ng in from Stanford University, and this is a person which was named among 100 most influential people in artificial intelligence. But I would like to emphasize also the year in 2017. 2017, so couple years ago, some people already saw ahead what everything artificial intelligence can change, and he compared the artificial intelligence to electricity, what electricity changed 100 years ago. He expected that something like that will happen with artificial intelligence in this year, in the next years, and it will affect almost all aspects of our lives. I just put some very basic image in which we can see the computing and artificial intelligence have transformed almost every aspect of our daily life. So I would like to focus only on some of them, which probably you are familiar also. At least in the UK, some of us use personal assistants as smart devices, like, for example, Alexa. Almost in every house, home. I don't know too much about Vietnam, how familiar you are with these devices. Every morning we can say, "Good morning, Alexa. How are you? What is the weather forecast?" And Alexa will reply to us as a human being. So this is just one of few examples of personal assistants, but there are much more. Some of them are related also to health care. Okay, if the person is monitored with some devices, and if something goes wrong, the device sends a message to the doctor or to relatives to get a message that something is not going well. Then, for example, smart home automation, the weather forecast is checked and the temperature in the house is set automatically. Okay, you can check your temperature when you are outside using Wi-Fi. These are just some of very many examples of personal assistant. Then, for example, transportation and autonomous systems. Everybody have heard probably the story about self-driving cars, which using lots of different aspects of artificial intelligence. We can't just even imagine what everything must be included. And I'm not sure whether I would be willing to sit down to that car by myself, but they are starting to use. I have heard also about some trains which are using self-drive, which are drives by themselves. Also, very important, which is related to optimization, also traffic management. You don't want to stand on the red traffic light every 5 minutes. So there must be some optimization depending on the traffic which is going about the hours which you are driving. Another very important aspect which I have already started to talk about is healthcare and medications. Because, for example, early diagnostic of some cancer is very important, and there are so many images and so many small changes which is very difficult to spot by human eyes, but the computer can analyze, and artificial intelligence can analyze the images and send some warning that something is wrong with these images. Then a very individual drug discovery, for example, because there are so many possibilities in this chemistry, what can happen, what can be combined together. And using artificial intelligence is like a huge database of information which they can use to get some individual treatment and design new drugs for the people. So in this case, AI can really speed up this research and hopefully cure much more people. Another aspect which I would like to mention is education and learning. Probably everybody is familiar with some language translations which we are using these days. Some students, even at our university, some international students, they use them. We are talking to them, and what we are talking, they can see on the screen. And this is just one example. These days, you can travel, and you don't need to speak too much of the language, even if it's nice to talk the language, foreign language. If you don't speak, you can use these automatic translators, and they can help you. Then also ChatGPT, which as a teachers, we have a lot of issue with them because students started to use them, and we need to be careful. And actually, I will be talking about them later on to teach the students how to use these tools, because they are really useful. They are not just tools; they are really like human being almost, like the friends who are helping you with assessment. But you just need to be careful and use them a very wise way. Then ideally, the school in the future, it shouldn't be just one central teachers and a lot of students around. We would like to see individual approach, which artificial intelligence can help. You know, every students, individual students can follow and learn the stuff in your own space, because there will be a lot of tools which they can help them. For example, even our students already started to use, even for the math lectures and for math tutorials, some personal tutors which help them to get better understanding of some stuff. There are it's still not 100%, but we are getting there as a development of artificial intelligence continue. Then security on surveillance, for example, facial recognition. When we are looking for some person somewhere, and there are hundreds of gigabytes of materials, and we are looking for one person, nobody has capacity to do it, just computer. So the research in this area is very important for airport security and so on and so on. Then another example is cybersecurity. You know, the company, the banks, for example, have no capacity to follow your regular transaction and get you message when something goes wrong, but artificial intelligence can do it. Okay, so they will follow your transaction, and if something unusual happen, for example, for myself, if I would have some transaction, for example, in Vietnam, probably it would be very unusual for them. So they would raise alarm. So this is another very important area. Then finance and banking, what we can see right now as example. Then follow what is happening in the stock, which currently is something very different, as we know, in the world, something unpredictable. But in usual circumstances, they can predict what will happen and make some good investment. Then which is related also what Graham said is supply chain optimization, because there are some stuff which we have common, because there is a lot of automatization and a lot of artificial intelligence can be used also in that, not only for automatization, as we know the robot will do some work, but also we can use to, for example, increase efficiency and stuff like that. So I just pick up several examples, but I could talk more and more about this because we can't imagine basically the life without artificial intelligence these days. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. And like the topic you put there, AI is everywhere. Yeah. And some of the industry that I haven't think about, but you put it all there, so it's quite easy for us to remember as well as understand the application of AI. But we would like to know more, like what is the highlight of the program, the master program in University of Portsmouth, and if the students study in AI, do they need to provide study background in this industry, or they can study right away from other background? And what is the bigger things that you want to share with us?
Okay. Thank you very much for this interesting question. And as the world is changing very rapidly, we need to change our approach to teaching and learning as well, especially in this area of computing, computer science, and artificial intelligence. So it's not only what we teach, but also how we teach and what skills we give the student. So except of this very specific skill related to artificial intelligence, we also try to give the students very general and very important skills as a problem solving skills, and also basic logic, some basic math to get, and not math like you may think about integral derivation, and something very basic to have some good logic is very important to be successful in any area of artificial intelligence, to understand the logical conditions and similar stuff. So we try to give them this background. Also, not only this one, but also give them soft skills, which are very important. So not just give them technical skills, but also soft skills, good background, good communication skills. Because in today's world, if somebody wants to be successful in this area, they need to have a lot of good communication skill. So have a good technical background, but also have a good communication skills. So I cover more details about our artificial intelligence program on undergraduate and postgraduate level. So at undergraduate level, we have currently the degree, bachelor degree, data science and analytics, which is going to change to reflect the trends which are going around in this world, and it will be called data science and artificial intelligence. And why we change this word? Because artificial intelligence is everywhere, and we want to give the students message. Okay, when you are coming to us, you will get good background also in artificial intelligence. And there are two modules. So the students in this degree will get good background in programming and basic math, but we have some specific modules which are related to these degrees, applied artificial intelligence and machine learning, in which the students get basic information, what is artificial intelligence and what are machine learning technique, on the level that when they start to work, they will be able to use the most frequently used tools. And on the level, on the final year, we have the module deep learning, where they will get better understanding neural networks and the more technical details related to the artificial intelligence. But this is just for this degree, but because we offer more computing degree like computer science, software engineering, and also others, we want also to give the students from these other degrees to have some background in artificial intelligence, because we understand that not only one degree, but all degrees should have, or computing degree should have some background in artificial intelligence. So for other students, they can choose as optional module big data, where they will learn more about what are big data, what they can do with big data, what are the different techniques with structural and unstructural data. And then a very favorite in the final year, we have the optional module artificial intelligence, where we cover the basic of artificial intelligence, and every student who are studying computing at School of Computing in the University of Portsmouth can choose these two optional modules independently from the degree. So this is covering on undergraduate level, and on the master level, as you have already asked, this is master program artificial intelligence and machine learning, and as you started to talk, is conversational course. What does it mean? That we don't expect the students to have any computer science background. So we accept almost any students who have a little bit technical background in the level of good math knowledge or business or whatever. But because we cover everything from scratch on this course, so they have the modules in which, for example, programming for data analytics and artificial intelligence, in which the students will get the understanding of programming language, it will be quite a speed, but we don't expect before the train join us to have any programming language. So we start from scratch. Okay, so the students don't need to have any programming language. We will cover it. We start with Python and cover all knowledge which is necessary for this degree. And then they have another very interesting modules, artificial intelligence foundations in practice, in which they get background about artificial intelligence. Then very interesting area, new area of artificial intelligence, explainable artificial intelligence, which is area in which we try to understand the artificial intelligence and communicate with artificial intelligence with the language which is close to human. Okay, so this aspect, then big data and machine learning applications, and different models which are related to artificial intelligence. Okay, so this degree, once again, we accept almost all students, undergraduate students, independently from the background. Okay, so this will be briefly covering all the questions about how we support the students relating to the artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your, informative information that you share. I have a curious question that maybe Dr. Graham, you can help us. Like, for example, I graduate from logistic program, and I'm concerned that maybe I graduate now and AI keep changing our, current work opportunity. I mean, it will affect us because AI can do lots of things, right? So how AI now changing in logistic industry, and can you, warn me that what should I prepare to, to get well with the industry?
Okay, let me just share another slide that hopefully will start to answer that question. And I think, Janka's already said a lot of things which I think apply not just to a variety of applications, but to logistics particularly. And, as with lots of areas, AI has and is transforming, particularly logistics. So it's becoming more smarter, faster, more streamlined, more efficient in a variety of areas. And this is happening, as Janka was explaining, at quite an amazing pace as well. I've just put some examples. Some of them have already been mentioned. Let me just give you a couple of other examples. So particularly in the whole area of route optimization, where we're trying to give an optimal routing for a vehicle that may be wanting to pick up a number of different parcels or deliver a number of parcels at a number of different addresses. And so we can develop algorithms for that, but these can actually learn as you go on and develop and become more sophisticated, but also they can harvest a lot of information, a lot of real-time information, maybe about congestion, about traffic speeds, about weather conditions, and as a result of that, can actually have more information and more ability to be able to route and optimize the vehicles in a much more efficient way. So that's just, again, another example. I think one of the big areas I think that AI can really help with as well is one of the big challenges in supply chain management is how do you match supply with demand? If you have too much supply, you end up with lots of goods which are unsold, stuck in warehouses, and you make a big loss as a result. If you have too little supply and a large demand, then obviously you're missing a lot of opportunities to sell your products. And so matching supply and demand is really important. And there are various forecasting techniques which you can use, which we do teach on our course. But with AI, there is so much more possibilities with looking at trends, looking at historical data, looking at large quantities of data, and you can look at seasonal aspects, all sorts of areas you can look at this. So it's such a powerful tool that can be used, particularly in this area of matching supply and demand. So again, there's incredible opportunities. There's just a couple of examples, many others. I mean, the whole area of cybersecurity is one as well, and fraud within supply chains. And lots of other examples as well, but perhaps those for the time being.
Thank you. And I think that there are a few questions here. You know, like they have lots of questions. Have you seen that we have, you know, few questions here?
I saw
the
one in the
chatting
chat.
box?
Yeah, I have seen one in
Yeah.
the chat box, which was, should I read it out? It was one, I think it was for me. I'm interested in
Yes.
logistics. That one?
Yes, please choose the
Yeah.
first one that
Shall I-
you want.
Okay, I'll read it out. I'm interested. Janka may have an interest in this as well. I'm interested in logistics, but maths and related subjects are not my strength. Are there any suitable specializations for me? And is it possible to study logistics or AI even if I'm not strong in maths? So that's a very good question. So I think logistics is a very multidisciplinary subject. I think that's the first thing. So there are lots and lots of opportunities for people with variety of disciplines within that business background, marketing background, all sorts of areas. So I think that's the first thing to say. So if you have an interest in logistics, I think there's always going to be a niche for you somewhere. When it comes specifically to the course at Portsmouth, I have mentioned that we are in the maths department, and we do look at transcripts, and we do look to see whether you've done at least maybe one or two modules that have some numerate bases. In saying that, we've had a number of students come into the course with very little maths background and have done extremely well. We support them. We do start a lot from scratch, as Janka was saying. We do have a maths cafe. We do have other opportunities to support the students in every way we can. And so we don't want to scare people, because we've had many people coming on doing the course and being very successful and having very limited maths. But we just want to make sure people are aware that there is a maths element to the course. So we're just trying to get that balance, as it were, in that way. But the positive aspect is when students, as I mentioned, leave the course, they've got a number of these quantitative skills that are really useful when they come into the job world and come into their work. And obviously it opens up a lot more opportunities for them in a variety of areas.
Okay. If they are not confident enough, I think that the tutor and the math cafe can help them, right?
Definitely. So we do try and support them, and obviously we do look. If you look on the website, we do indicate the sort of things we're looking for. One of the things we have done as well is I give students just a few simple questions in induction for them to have a go at, and we support them with those answers, and it just gives them a little bit of understanding and introduction to some of the specific areas of maths that we do focus on in the course, which is for us is more the decision maths. So again, that just helps them understand and get them up to scratch with what we hope will be the level they can build on for the rest of the course.
Thank you. And now we come to, how about Janka? Can you please answer to her if she can, you know, study AI without any math background?
Yes, as I have already mentioned, when you come to our department, School of Computing, we're actually very close to School of Mathematics. We work together, but on our school we don't expect any mass background on the high level. Because we build with the students problem solving skill and basic understanding of logic, because we are taking a little bit mass away of this aspect. We try to give the students rather more practical skills. They are prepared more to the job market, as they would be expected if they would like to be the researcher. Okay, so we are focusing more on the practical aspect of this degree. So giving the students the theoretical background, what they need, but then to teach them to apply the skills to the practical problem to solve, not just focusing on the theoretical pathway, which is very difficult and requires lots of maths in supply chain, but also in artificial intelligence for sure. But we try to get the students and prepare students rather for the practical job market. Okay, to learn them, to give them background, that they are able to use the tool, not only the current tools, but for the tools which may come in 2 or 3 years ahead, because we don't know what is going to happen in this market. Okay,
So I
we
think
try
that your question can answer, this second student's question about if she can study logistics or AI, right?
Yeah. So most important thing is to have a fun. Whatever you will be doing, you need to enjoy that and have a fun. I think that both degrees are very interesting, and you can't go wrong whatever you will choose.
Is that possible for students to get like a job opportunity while studying or after graduate from your two program in Portsmouth? Or can they apply for another, job in another city as well when they graduate?
We have very good support service office at the university, which work very closely with the students, and the students can go there. They can help them to sort out the CV, prepare them for the interview, and they have also this list of companies which they work with, and students can apply for a job through this office. And the students are eligible for these services up to 5 years after the graduation. And if they are joining us on the undergraduate degree, then we have also placement between the second and final year. So student can go to the company and work with the company, which is very successful, especially for computing students. We have the most students across the university on the placement every year.
And same with logistic program, I think.
Yeah, definitely. There are opportunities, not just in Portsmouth, but further afield as well. And as been said, the university offers a lot of support, particularly in developing student CVs and interview techniques, etc. As I mentioned, our course, we try and enhance students' employability skills. I mean, as been said, one thing that AI can't do is change your soft skills. It's really important that students have those soft skills, able to manage, able to lead, able to inspire change in others. And so those are really important, those communication skills. So we're trying to enhance those as much as possible. So there are plenty of opportunities, and many of our students have looked a variety of places around the UK for job opportunities. And again, a lot of these are advertised and support is available. And just to reiterate what I was saying earlier, we're not looking for mathematical experts to come on the course. We may have one or two. The vast majority are from a variety of backgrounds and have performed extremely well. So again, we encourage applications from a variety of backgrounds. And again, we want to make sure we prepare students and help them to get the skills that they acquire during the course, so that when they do finish, they will be successful in finding a good graduate job.
Mention about, learning soft skills that, the AI cannot replace human. Do you have any advice for our students? That's a very big question and can be, the last but not least question today.
Okay.
Advice for them. Okay, I'll pass over to Janka, and I may carry on.
Okay, I just try to summarize the most important skills for the young people if they decided to go to, it doesn't matter, either to supply chain or to IA. So basically, study smart. It means study, focus on math, problem solving skills, and as we emphasized several times, on communication and also on the group works. Try to work together with some friends, try to find solution, try to cooperate with other, because this is the current world. You can't work on your own. Another important is work on small projects. Start to build some small project. For example, it can be any application, small application, mobile application. So try to get the skills, programming skills. There are currently so many free courses on the internet which you can get through YouTube or Coursera or whatever. Just try to get these skills. Then you can join different online community, for example, GitHub or Discord, where there are young people trying to work on different projects. So try to join them and learn from them. Okay, this is the initial one. And also, don't forget to be curious and explore whatever is going on. There are these days the students, thanks to internet, have so many advantages because they can have access to the very good videos from the good university like Stanford or others, and they can learn from the lectures about algorithms, about machine learning, and there are also some introductory course. So use your time efficiently and try to educate yourself as much as you can, because the resources are there. You just need to find time, and it's really worth it to invest your time to education, to educate yourself. Don't expect that it will come free. You just need to spend this time. And because this tech world is changing very, very fast, you need to be prepared that you will learn all the life. It's true for me, it's true probably for Graham as well. Even if we finished university many, many years ago, we have to learn almost every month. And it's pleasure to learn something new, because it's kind of our life. So be a lifelong learner. Then very important advice is don't be afraid to fail, because everybody can make mistake. But important is to learn from this mistake. Okay, every code can make can do mistake, but important is to to learn from this. Then, as it follows also from this lecture, try to be expert in at least 2 different areas. So computer science with something, okay? Because artificial intelligence is not disciplined by themselves. You need to be expert. It's good if you want to go ahead, be expert in another discipline, for example, pharmacy or medicine or even logistic or even art. Because when you are expert, you can profit from this. You can use artificial intelligence in the way that other people can't do. And sometimes you need to be able to validate the result. And when I am not expert in chemistry, I can't do it. Okay, so try to learn something in different discipline as well. And a very, very important advice is for the whole life, have fun. Whatever you will do, you need to have fun from this. You need to enjoy that, because otherwise you can't be expert in anything. Okay, so this is our advice to all the young people, and we are looking forward to see you hopefully at our university. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Janka and Dr. Graham. We do enjoy the the talk show today with lots of information, but very good for students to decide what they will study in the master level or in the bachelor degree level. So I think that if it's quite late here in Vietnam, and if students have any question, of course that we will deliver and send it to you to ask for your advice. But to to summarize for today, we learned a lot about the logistics and supply chain management from Dr. Graham, and about AI and how application of AI now in around us from Dr. Janka. And we do hope that you will be, you will have a great day today and have a good health. And yeah, thank you for your time today. And hope that the student can see you soon in the university.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you. All the
All
best.
the best.